Initializing FakeNet.
Retrograde Amnesia is a member of the Greenlit Podcast Network. To find the other excellent shows on the network, please go to greenlitpodcasts.com. If you enjoy listening to this podcast and want to hear more of it, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/retroam. Patrons get early access, bonus episodes, and access to all of our miniseries episodes, covering other JRPGs like Terranigma and Parasite Eve. Please visit us at patreon.com/retroam.
Hey Eric.
Hey Chris.
What's your favorite kind of video game censorship?
Nintendo refusing to acknowledge the goatee symbol in Link to the Past.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Has anybody ever confronted them about that?
No.
Oh, well. Would you like to confront me about some hot sounds that I'm about to record?
Yes, I would.
All right, thanks. Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic JRPGs, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. This is Season 3, Final Fantasy VIII. Tonight, we continue to love battles and attempt to unravel the secrets of a romantic dream. My name is Chris. I'm joined tonight by Eric. Hey, Eric.
I love fighting.
I love battles. We are also joined tonight by The Real Net, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live. Just go to patreon.com/retroam.
We are also joined by the FakeNet, our post-production AI companion and sole inventor of the Ford Taurus.
Initializing FakeNet.
I made the station wagon model in case I ever had to haul around my two big dumb boys.
So, Eric, we left off with Cypher loving battles and quickly becoming the best character in the game.
Chris.
He's the best.
He is the best.
Yeah.
He's my favorite right now. But first, I have to bring back an old segment from Season 1.
Oh, is it egregious oversights and corrections?
It is.
Okay, let's hear it.
Egregious oversights and corrections.
So in our episode 1, we talked about the inspiration for Squall's design, and Tetsuya Nomura cited River Phoenix in that interview for
The Bouncer.
Well, Chris, I did some researching about this, and somebody on Reset Era found some comments from an ex-Squaresoft employee posted to Facebook, and he said that Nomura actually based Squall upon himself at the time.
Oh, okay.
And I've got some pictures here, Chris. Who's that look like? That's Nomura in 1997.
Yeah, I could see a ... whatever coming out of that face right there.
He definitely has the exact same haircut in this picture.
Huh. Great. God, that's
so good.
It is so good. Let's make the action hero myself.
Me.
Yeah. When we last left off, Cypher said that he loved battles. He feared nothing. He ran off into the control tower.
By himself.
By himself.
Avoiding protocol. You're going to get dinged some points for that on your test, buddy.
Yes. And just then, we hear a voice. So there you are. And then we get some CG.
We will come to learn as Selphie hustles up to the peak of a rock hill. Exhausted, she bends over and puts her hands on her knees. She stands up and begins to walk down the rocks, waving her hands wildly to try to keep her balance. She quickly falls backwards and does a flip, skips some frames on the way to crashing on the ground and landing on her knees. She briefly collects herself and then looks up at the camera, smiles, touches her hair with one hand, and then fucking winks.
Wow. I have she looks cool, falls on her ass, and then resumes looking cool.
Yeah.
Because she's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She recognizes...
It's a good recovery.
Yes. She recognizes Squall as the guy who showed her around. It's Selphie.
Mm-hmm. She asks if we're Squad B. She doesn't... You give her a tour, right?
Yes.
If you do that, she says she doesn't get so lost anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So...
Not since that tour 2 hours ago.
Yeah. It's 7 hours ago in game time, though. Well, in our game time. She's from Squad A. I have a question. Are the squads ordered in the order of proficiency of the students?
They're assigned different tasks, right?
That's true. She's got a message for the captain. She's looking for the captain. By the way, the captain is Cypher.
The captain has abandoned ship.
He's fucking not here. Quick note, if you would allow me to talk about Tetsuya Nomura again for a few seconds.
Let's do it.
Remember the article that we cited in the last episode from FlareGamer.com, which we linked in the show notes probably last time?
Which cited an article from Famitsu, right?
Which cited an article from Famitsu, was a translation from an interview with Nomura. Here are some notes on Selphie's design. Selphie was already thought up when Nomura was drawing his first version of Squall. The first thing Nomura came up with was her hairstyle, and he thought it would be improper if there was such a hairstyle in real life, which, okay.
It's a 50s flip. That was a real hairstyle.
Yeah, I know. That's weird. Maybe he's just thinking of, his own culture. He drew her in overalls first, but noticed that if he did that, there would be no one wearing a skirt.
Important.
Thus, she has a skirt because someone having a skirt is important. So, thanks. Now, we have not seen her overalls and skirt yet, but we will later on in this game.
Well, she doesn't have overalls, right? It's just like a yellow dress thing?
Yeah, but it looks like it has suspenders over the shoulders.
Didn't notice that.
Duragon Mikado's overalls turn into a skirt.
Oh.
The bouncer.
Yeah.
So just as she's asking where Cypher is, he appears down by that mysterious door and delivers the second greatest line of this game.
Mm-hmm.
He screams up the hill to us, "One of these days, I'm going to tell you about my romantic dream."
Yes, it's great. It's in all caps. Then he turns around and runs into the tower. We previously said that "I love battles, I fear nothing" was the best line in the game. Does this line top that line?
I think he kind of oversells it because romantic is capitalized.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's kind of leaning into how absurd it is, whereas the first one was just pure sincerity.
I had forgotten how corny Cypher was. Like,
Yeah.
I thought he was closer to a Squall personality where he was cool, calm, and collected, but no, he is totally outrageous.
Unfortunately, he's 17 or 18 years old, which means he thinks he's awesome, but he's actually full of shit.
Yeah.
And just pulling references from the movies he saw when he was growing up.
Yeah, he's made of movies.
Selphie then leaps off the cliff and yells for the captain to wait up. Chris, did you see her quap-ass jump pose?
No, this game predates Quap, but yes.
Yeah, it's really good. She asks what we're waiting for and suggests we need to hurry up. Cypher leaves the party. Now, Chris, jumping off the cliff like Selphie, did you do this?
I did not.
Me neither. It will
Zelda-
result in a penalty on your final exam score.
Yeah, Zell doesn't want us to. He says that we can go on around, and we loop around. There's just like one screen in between here and the other one.
It's like a elbow curve screen.
Moon, still huge.
Yeah.
And then we go around and loop around and meet with Selphie. She says that it would have been faster if we jump. Zell disagrees, and he uses "please" again.
Yes.
And he asks Squall his thoughts, and I chose "I don't know about that."
I chose, yeah, I guess so, when he said, "Ain't that right, Squall?"
Squall said, in my case, he said, "I don't know about that. Perhaps anyone but the chicken wuss can make it."
Mm-hmm.
Should I hit the button? Chicken wuss?
Does chicken wuss count if Cypher doesn't say it?
That's what I'm going to ask you, because the chicken wuss is...
I mean, is much like the rules of Triple Triad, chicken wuss is spreading organically between members. Like, they've heard Cypher say it twice. When you hear your buddy say something twice, you're going to start repeating it because you're an idiot kid.
So we need to make an executive decision here. Does this count?
It counts, but I'm going to play it at like 0.25
Okay.
increased speed.
The Final Fantasy VIII Chicken Wuss Count.
3,
Squall says perhaps anyone but the chicken wuss can make it. Zell goes fucking nuts, and then Selphie assumes that Zell is the chicken wuss. She asks.
That's how she's introduced to him.
So does that count too?
Does she say chicken wuss?
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts,
All right.
man. Get it up.
The Final Fantasy VIII Chicken Wuss Count.
4,
Yeah, Zell gets angrier and angrier and declares that he is not a chicken. Then Selphie wonders if maybe he's a pig. Zell eventually gives up and tells them to call him whatever they want. And he's like, fuck it, just whatever. Squall tells him to lighten up, and then Selphie joins the party.
Victory music?
Victory
Yeah.
music?
Fanfare?
Sure. She reminds us, by the way, to equip a GF. So thanks, Selphie. She didn't bring her own GF.
I don't know that she has one. Squall may be the only member. Like, he had two to come out. Like, does anyone arrive with the GF? Cypher maybe later?
I think technically the squad leader would allocate the GFs, but we're not going to allow Cypher to do that because we're learning how to play the video game. So also Selphie didn't necessarily join this excursion as a combat member. So maybe she
Did you even bring weapons, Selphie?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, she did bring weapons. So then we can approach the communication tower.
We approach the door, the scene changes. Starting from the ground, it pans up to reveal a dramatic shot of the full communication tower with the moon directly overhead. Galbadian soldiers then scream and exit the door. Cypher has chased them out, slashing at them with his sword and calling them cowards.
Yeah, it's great.
Selphie says hey in capital letters, but Cypher no-sells all of it. Then we enter to like a weird perspective inner hangar base thing. The elevator lowers. And Squall can't find Cypher anywhere and wonders if he went up. Now, Chris, where is Cypher is going to be a problem here for the next sequence.
Yeah, he kind of phases in and out.
There's only one elevator. There's not a lot of places to go. But anyway, this place is blue and teal, neon lights everywhere blinking. I love this shit. This game has a marvelous aesthetic.
It does. There's also a draw point in here
Yeah.
for blind and a save point, of course.
We go up the elevator. When we exit, there's tremendous wind as Major Biggs, Major Jackson Briggs. No. Major Biggs and Lieutenant Wedge, 2 Galbadian soldiers, are out here messing with the electricity on the tower.
Yes, we should note that Biggs and Wedge are reoccurring names that are used in Final Fantasy games, I believe starting with Final Fantasy VI.
What I've always wondered, and what I should have looked up, is if that's only with the North American localization, or if Biggs and Wedge are supposed to be Star Wars references from, Biggs fucking Darklighter and Wedge Antilles.
I think it's that way in the Japanese as well. We can ask the fake net.
日本語で彼らの名前はビッグスウェッジ。
But the reason I think that is because in the original Ted Woosley localization of Final Fantasy VI, they were called Vix and Wedge because they didn't Romanize it properly or localize it properly. Yeah. So yes, Ted Woosley loves Vix Vapor Rub, confirmed.
Wedge is out here telling Biggs there's been a report of a monster-shaped shadow on top of the tower. He repeatedly tries to warn Biggs, who no-sells all of this and says he is busy. Mm-hmm. So which one is who's the Major Briggs? So Biggs is in red, right?
Biggs is in red, I think.
And Lieutenant Wedge is the subordinate.
Yes.
Biggs talks about the crappy tools and doesn't seem to know what he's doing.
No.
He wonders why he has to make all these repairs, and then he screams.
Where are we, by the way?
Oh, we're taking the elevator up, Chris. Like
so
this is. I picture this as like it's showcasing what's happening as Cypher's down there flushing out the soldiers from the base.
Gotcha.
Like this is not like 1-to-1 time. That or the elevator is super slow, like any 1990s. Remember how slow elevators used to be?
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, right?
Yeah.
So next we get a CG cutscene.
This is a pretty cool scene because this is another one of those moments in which the pre-rendered background becomes the full motion video background, seamlessly almost, and we get new music too.
Yeah, the music takes up the entirety of the CG cutscene. It's called Starting Up.
Yes, not Start Me Up, but Starting Up.
That's right. The panel Biggs was working on flares with electricity. Our party shifts around nervously, repeating a half-second of bewildering animation. The tower is shaking so hard that a wrench or something from Biggs's tool bag falls out and falls through the grated floor. It hits the tower's pole on the way down, showcasing the colossal height of this tower. The camera cuts to some generators or engines or something turning on and rotating. 3 giant power switches flip up and activate. It cuts to the top of the tower. All 3 big satellite dishes come online, and the radar pylons become erect and start to spin. The main battery or something in the central tube spins up and inserts itself into the top of the tower. This startles Squall, still turning around every 2 seconds, as he is featured in a cool turnaround CG shot. Top of the tower then slowly transforms into a giant cannon, but it's actually revealed to be yet another transforming satellite dish.
Yeah.
Or is it? It's a central antenna which looks like the front of a Sulaco from Aliens.
I would have thought this was a giant space laser if we did not know this was already a communications
maybe
tower.
It could be, right?
Or maybe they're transforming it into a space laser or something.
It glows white with heat and electricity. The camera then pulls out to a wide shot, showcasing the entire tower engulfed in the same glow.
It looks more complicated and important than I think it actually is.
Somebody wanted to make some CG of some shit transforming. That's what we saw.
Yes, it's pretty cool. Afterwards, I think we're here now, right?
Yeah, there's this persistent generator hum beneath us.
And Squall confronts Biggs, who gets sassy for a moment. When he realizes that no one is coming to help him, he tries to run away, but Cypher emerges from the elevator. How did that work?
He also asked what happened to the soldiers down below.
Yeah,
what happened to them?
Yeah, that we've murdered them and stolen all their magic.
Yeah, and we didn't see the elevator go back down. We just got off the elevator ourselves. I don't know, but Cypher slashes at Biggs, who then asks Cypher if he is crazy.
Answer?
Yes.
Yes.
It appears that when he slashes at him, he slashes a control panel or something out of Biggs's hands.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the battle begins. We're in a battle.
Force Your Way plays.
Yes, it's a boss battle, which is curious. At first, I was like, why are we in a boss
Wedge,
battle?
Man, they have their own card.
Yeah, that's true. But
every enemy has its own card. That's not good criteria. Never mind.
It's one dope soldier, and it's weird, but that question is answered later.
Biggs calls us all brats. Next question, where's Cypher in the battle?
He's just watching. Even though he loves battles, he's watching, I guess.
My guy has Asuna.
We're out of RAM.
Asuna?
Esuna.
You can draw Asuna?
Yeah.
This is where I started doing something called make it on 3x speed and draw 100 of every spell for everybody.
Yeah, I didn't start doing that at this point, although I do wish I did, but I did it later.
At some point, Wedge shows up to this battle and says something about no pay for this month. I don't know, it went by too fast for me to write it down.
Biggs tells him that there's no pay this month, which seems like a decision that Biggs does not have the authority to make. Because usually, your lieutenant in the army doesn't make pay decisions.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how army works, but I think the government usually pays.
Yeah, I don't think he's
directly.
the one signing the check. Did you draw anything from Biggs?
No, I forgot.
Before we get a chance to really kill these fools, they are wiped away by a tornado from Satan.
Yeah. It's like a whirlwind that appears and sucks them off the battlefield.
Yeah,
Vic
this
says, what the?
Me too, because Final Fantasy VIII is going pretty hard with its kind of first real boss battle. I mean, we fought Ifrit, but I think this is the first real one.
Yeah.
And in Final Fantasy VII had an interesting opening boss battle with a gimmick. So did
Scorpion.
Yes, and so did Final Fantasy VI with a fucking giant snail that's head went inside of its body. And here we're getting a fun gimmick of the plot unraveling within the battle sequence. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
It's Elvarit, Chris.
Yes, Elvaray.
Elvaray,
Is
it?
It's a winged demon with a giant chin phallus, giant wings, and Nomura-style butt base with stinger.
And butt base.
As seen in Parasite Eve.
I've got big ol' Vincent Valentine Monster of the Week. He looks like if Count Chocula got stuck morphing into the bat and went into the fly machine with Boo Berry or possibly Yummy Mummy and came out looking like this.
The butt base is very interesting to me because evolutionarily, it doesn't make sense because this creature cannot safely land without falling over like a tip cow.
Yeah.
Like, how does this thing fucking land? He has to always fly? He has infinite flying?
I think hummingbirds do that, right?
Yeah. Did you notice its chest muscles?
No.
Its chest muscles are fastened like a screaming face. Like, this is definitely something that didn't get into Parasite Eve, right?
You think so? It fell off the chopping block?
Well, he was drawing all these monsters at approximately the same time.
Yeah.
This monster could have gone in either game because it's got that kind of vibe.
Chris, from the random... I put random. Chris, from the fandom wiki,
Yeah.
the Demonolith enemy in Final Fantasy X, which is a big stone monolith thing like those things in Shabbat,
Yeah.
features Elvarit inside of its design.
Cool.
There's a reference to it in 10.
Did you scan this boy?
No, I don't use scan.
I scanned it. And it says, a monster that lives in the abandoned Dole communication tower. No one knows where it came from. Thanks, scan.
Chris, if I use scan, I would have a 99 scan, and I'd be bothered to go get one scan somewhere else. I can't have that.
Okay, well, I apologize. I will do all the scanning on this podcast. If I don't scan the monster, then
That's content.
the people are fucked. Sorry. So, Elvaret. Apparently, the name of this thing is derived from the French term ale volet. Ale volet.
Uh-huh.
French for violet wing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, cool. According to the fandom wiki, which has to be correct, I think.
Of course, wikis are always truthful.
Yeah, so let's fight this thing. Force our way, so to speak. This thing's main move is Storm Breath, which is the aforementioned tornado from
he actually
Satan.
used it to just one-shot Biggs and Wedge.
Yeah, it'll do a pretty significant chunk of damage to you. At this point in time in the game, I'm not prepared for anything. I haven't really been messing with the mechanics. I've just been kind of pushing my way forward.
You don't have a lot of access to it, too. Like, all the
Yeah.
stuff that you can bind your junction, your magic to isn't really unlocked unless you've been power leveling your guardian forces on the beach fighting bats or whatever is out there.
Otherwise, this thing just uses some magics and physicals. I don't think
it's
it's
hard.
Yeah. So the most important thing about this battle, I think, is the fact that you can draw Siren from
Yes, this
guy.
is where Final Fantasy VIII plays for real, because you can get Siren here, or like not again until the end of the game,
Yes.
pretty much. This is a missable guardian force.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's fucking crazy.
Also, I like what this act of us drawing Siren from this monster says about the draw Guardian Force magic system and how it plays into the world. To me at this point, this is just how I'm rationalizing everything. The GFs seem to be the arbiters of magic and the keeper of the Earth's spirits within. But apparently every GF doesn't always exist in the physical world like Ifrit did. Like, we can't go visit Siren in Siren's humble abode.
Are you telling me Elvaray already did that?
That's my guess here. I love the idea of monsters being part of this circle of life, and they
contract.
have the ability to absorb these GFs as well. Like, at some point, Elvaray defeated Siren, and now we are drawing Siren out of it and making her our own, I guess. I'm assuming we are, by drawing her out of Elvaray, they are transferring the contract to us.
Yeah, it's Pokemon law.
I have some more unanswerable Siren questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Did we create another copy of Siren, or are we drawing junctioning rights to Siren?
That's what we're wondering. Like, do we just have a license to use Siren?
I think that's the answer. Next one. Do we have to get approval from Bill Gates to use this IP in developing countries?
Well, Bill Gates is on the kind of falling out of power at the moment as
Yes.
he manages his divorce, and a report came out today talking about unwanted advances made toward women.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
So
That is today.
his limits of his philanthropy to cleanse his corporate conscience and try to be a good person are going to be brought down, and hopefully he, hits his head on a rock and bleeds out of his ears.
Hypothetically. Parody.
Also, this question we kind of already we already discussed. Was Siren absorbed by Elvaray? Does the Elvaray have some specific connection to the GF, or did it conquer it like we conquered Ifrit? These are the things I want to know.
I mean, Sirens, I forget, I haven't used it yet. Doesn't it just cast silence on everybody?
Yeah, I think it's a status effect thing.
Yeah, like it's not like a violent fighting guardian force. It's a support creature, and it's quite peaceful. Like from memory, doesn't like it awash the battlefield in pink water and then play a harp on a rock?
Sirens are from some sort of lore.
Well, yeah, isn't it like, I mean, it's not the Greek mythology sirens. It's the one that's like the mermaids that hang out and tempt sailors away and crash their ships into rocks with their tempestuous
I don't remember if it was
sexuality.
Norse. I don't remember if it was Norse or something else. Can't remember. Anyway.
I know. Fake net.
Fake net.
Initializing fake net.
A siren, in Greek mythology, is a creature half bird and half woman who lured sailors to destruction by the sweetness of her song.
Speaking of GFs, Eric, I used GFs here for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
The sound effects of GFs are really good. Have you noticed how good the sound effects are when you summon
Name
these
your
guys?
favorite GF. We'll put some sound effects in.
Quetzalcoatl.
All right, here they are.
Okay. Let's use this opportunity to talk about GFs some more and how they work in this game.
Yeah, girlfriends.
Yeah. This is something I was not familiar with previously, the compatibility factor. Are you familiar with compatibility?
As a general term, sure,
Yes.
but not really for this game.
Is actually in the menu. You can actually access the values. I thought maybe it was hidden behind the scenes, but no. There is a compatibility which impacts the amount of charge time when you summon the GFs.
Right, yeah. You summon them up, they have their own hit points, and a meter starts counting down.
They kind of take hits for you, and their HP goes away instead of yours. But the more compatible you are with these fellers, the faster it summons. Compatibility can be boosted with boosting items, or by casting magic that is the same element of the Guardian Force, and by just summoning the GF, that boosts your compatibility as well. Compatibility is also reduced if you use the opposing magic. So if you use a fire spell, Shiva's compatibility will go down.
Hold on, but do you mean like if I'm Squall and I have Shiva and I cast fire, the compatibility lowers for that match, or in general just subtracts? Like
It subtracts from the overall value that's in the status screen.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, it's very small.
Is it permanent? Like, can you build that back up if you just cast ice like 50 times?
Yeah, it goes back. It goes up and down. I think they implemented this to try to balance out the spamming of GFs, but I don't think
that and like making this for the story, it makes sense if Guardian forces are attached to the same characters for long periods of time.
I don't think you ever have to pay attention to this. So there's not. It feels.
Is this weight from Xenogears?
Yeah, it feels like that maybe they had this idea and then in practice it didn't work, so they divided all the numbers by 2 or something to make everything less important.
You know what would be a really cool, almost Soulsian move for a remix of this game to do is to have a boss that can draw your Guardian Force away from you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Each GF also has an opposing GF that they don't like. So if you summon Ifrit, your compatibility with Shiva will go down, and vice versa.
So elemental beefs?
Yes.
Elemental Diablos hate.
Yes.
Doom Drain.
I think Leviathan, but I can't remember. Speaking of Quetzalcoatl, you want some Quetzalcoatl facts, Eric?
Yeah.
Keep going. We're still in the middle of this boss battle. Can we play the boss music again?
I'm sure I'm playing some metal version of it right now. I found those.
Okay, great.
Black Mages, what's up?
Quetzalcoatl is one of the major deities in Mesoamerican mythology. Most stories agree upon Quetzalcoatl being the god of the morning star and being known as the inventor of books, the calendar, and the giver of maize. That's M-A-I-Z-E to mankind. Yes, corn. The worship of Quetzalcoatl was in some religions connected with human sacrifices, while in others opposed to human sacrifices. This is the best fact about Quetzalcoatl I'm about to tell you. All this from the Fandom Wiki. Thank you, Fandom Wiki. Quetzalcoatl's French name, Golgotha.
Cool.
Which, of course, we discussed in our Xenogears podcast as meaning skull or place of the skull, which is the name of the hill in ancient Jerusalem where Christ was
yes, they killed God. Right.
Yes, that's why they killed God. Yes, exactly. Choo-choo died for your sins. So that's awesome. I'm good. Now let's expend our Shiva facts, Eric. I got Shiva facts. Ready? Ready for the Shiva facts?
Shiva sound effects.
Thanks. So, Shiva is a Hindu god. Shiva is a male god that can merge with its consort, Parvati, pronunciation unknown, to become something else, an androgynous Hindu god of duality and patron god of Terranigma. In Japanese, Shiba could also refer to the Queen of Sheba, whom King Solomon of Israel fell in love with, lending to the Queen of Ice title.
Queen of Sheba is also a good Ethiopian restaurant over by Bowman Field.
Also true. There's also a possibility this name was simply the Japanese manner of pronouncing the word shiver, given her icy nature. And another possibility is that this is a reference to the Slavic god Ziva, the goddess of love and fertility.
Well, that's pretty cool, Chris.
That's
I just
all.
use them to beat the fuck out of my enemies.
Yeah.
So.
Elva took a while to take down, even using these guys. So, did you do anything special in this battle?
Like, I like the Guardian Forces in concept, but it just seems more efficient to use physical or magic spells
Yeah.
right now. I mean, unless I can understand some of them in, like, if you're doing poorly and you want them to take some hits for you on the way to delivering some punishment, but at this moment, they just seem superfluous.
Yes.
Chris, this guy also has double.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Oh, man, I should have got some more doubles. You're right. I did get it, and I ended up casting it a little bit later. And I only got like 5 or 6, though.
When I beat them, though, victory music, of course, light shoots out of my guy when he dies, explodes, and evaporates into the satellite dish.
Yeah, he fades into polygons. It's pretty cool. So I guess is he gone forever? He's dead?
Yeah, we've killed a
him?
one-of-a-kind creature.
Okay.
This endangered satellite dish guarding enemy.
I guess so.
We didn't receive any XP, but I did get a weapons research magazine. So when you get magazines, you read them and then talk to modification shops, and they will modify your weapons according to the magazine's instructions.
I was sort of relieved when I found out that I'm not going to have to manage equipment as well as GFs.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
too much.
It was a smart decision to just attach everything to the GFs.
I don't think there's armor. I think it's just weapons, right?
Yep, just weapon upgrades.
Perfect.
And it seems like the upgrades are relatively incremental at this point in the game, so I haven't done much of that. Afterwards, Selphie long hops towards Cypher, who is jerking off with his gunblade again.
That's right.
And she has new orders. She's finally going to be able to tell him what she needed to tell him to begin
In my
with.
headcanon, Cypher's been here beating the shit out of Biggs and Wedge some more because they're still laid out on the ground.
Yeah, that's true. All SeeD members and SeeD candidates are to withdraw at 1900 hours, assemble at the shore.
Chris, what time is that in 12 o'clock clocks?
I'm not good at military time.
That's right, 2:30.
2:30.
Initializing fake net.
No. Who taught you math? It's 7 p.m. Jesus.
Thanks.
Cypher
whatever.
rebuffs, wondering why he has to withdraw when there are still enemies around.
Yeah, he can't believe this shit.
Selphie says she's just the messenger. And Squall says the order to withdraw takes priority. He doesn't want to miss his vessel. Cypher notes they only have 30 minutes. He points his gunblade into the air and tells the squad they better run. He literally runs on top of Biggs as he exits for the elevator.
Yes. He should have stabbed him one more time, actually, based on what's about to happen.
Hit him, Selphie, one more time.
Yes.
Selphie begs Cypher to wait. Zell wonders who the hell Cypher thinks he is.
Yes.
And Squall responds quite simply, why don't you just ask him?
Mm-hmm.
Good question. It fades to black. When it comes back up, we have control and a timer appears.
Yes.
30 minutes.
They're actually going to give us 30 minutes to get out of here.
Your pause button does not work.
Yeah. We see a brief scene of dying Biggs crawling to his control tablet thing that Cypher knocked out of his hands earlier.
Yeah, after you go down the elevator.
It somehow wasn't blown away by the fucking tornado.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Biggs, talks into the communication thing and says, those little twerps are the targets. Now go and destroy them. And then there's some metal stomping noises.
Yes, we are about to fight some metal gears. Some gears that are metal.
There are a lot of podcasts with comic book reviews and interviews with some of the greatest creators in the industry, but only one will tell you scientifically what the worst comic book of all time is.
And the best. We've been ranking comic book stories for 6 years.
We have a list with over 1,000 comics on it, and we're adding more every month.
For Rocket Ajax on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Here at Chat of the Wild, our Game Club podcast, we have been using our lens of truth to do deep dives on the Legend of Zelda series, in order, covering 1 to 2 dungeons each episode. Our show also looks at Zelda-likes, such as Crusader of Senti, Golden Axe Warrior, and the bizarre journey of For the Frog, the Bell Tolls. Join us right now as we play Ari and the Secret of Seasons, our first new release since Season 1, or check out our past seasons breaking down nearly 20 action-adventure titles. New episodes drop every Wednesday, here on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
There's some random battles in the elevator basement, which are very annoying. Did you get any of those?
No.
I fought 3 rounds of Galbadian soldiers down there before I could exit that thing.
Oh, really? Wow. Huh.
But then you exit, and there's horror movie framing as the XATM 092 emerges from the top of the tower and leaps down at the party. So this is like a quadruped robot spider thing?
Yes, a robot spider crab.
Yeah, crab's probably better. It only has 4 legs.
Yeah. Squall notices it as it leaps down, and then we are immediately being assaulted by this thing back into a battle.
So there's some variation here, right? Like you can fight this thing until it collapses, but it will always get back up unless...
after you knock it out 3 times.
Yeah, in the same battle.
It will stop healing itself. But before I did anything, I scanned it.
Oh, okay. Great.
It's the XATM-092. It's Galbadia's mobile attack weapon, aka Black Widow. It doesn't stop until it kills everything in its path.
Huh.
That's it. Thank you, Scan. I use Thunder on this thing every single turn because my innate knowledge from Final Fantasy VII, and I think this started in Final Fantasy VI, maybe beforehand, I'm not sure. Machines are weak to electricity, thunder. Eventually, this thing crumples, and Zell tells us we need to get the hell out of here. Then we get a brief run tutorial.
Yeah, L2 and R2, right?
Yeah, and it runs away, and then as we run away, the music changes, right?
It plays Never Look Back.
Yes, appropriate for this moment.
After I run away again, I am magically on the other side of the screen.
Yeah.
Because you have to exit toward that tower, go around that bend, and you fight it on one side of the rock, and then after you beat it, you're on the other side of the rock.
And then once you're on the other side of the rock, at the top where Selphie left from earlier.
Yes, Selphie's Leap Rock.
Yes, yes, thank you. It will jump up there, and you can miss it. You can dodge it here, but
you gotta be skilled, man.
Yes, but you have to. I think you have to either go fast or kind of
gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. You have to. The secret to this, all of this, is that you can actually defeat this thing. You can only defeat this thing in 2 ways. One, by being extremely prepared and being strong enough to knock this thing out, 3 times in one battle, as we said.
Right.
Or play Final Fantasy VIII Remastered and use battle boosts, which is what I did. I'm not going to do this for most of the game, but I
click in, you get your limit breaks.
Yes, I wanted to see the outcome here. It still took me forever to kill it like this.
I was going to say, this. I mean, I would have done that as well, but I was paranoid of the 30-minute timer and having to do this all over again.
The first time I did kill it, I escaped through the beach, and with ran out of time right before I got to the ship.
Great.
So it just immediately goes to the game over screen.
Perfect. Great investment of your time, Chris.
So I went back and did it again. Now, this thing does have a couple of different drops because I got something different the second time. There's like a 25% chance for each one. I got a Power Wrist, which is actually really good. It allows you can attach it to a Guardian Force, and they learn the ability of Strength Up plus 40%, which is a lot.
That's a big bunch.
Yeah, so
nice.
I think there's other ways to get Power Wrist and everything, but you can get it early in the game. So
how do you attach? I guess I haven't.
It's just an item you use on it.
Oh, I see.
Learns the ability. Yeah.
Oh, I see. And then you can. Okay, that makes sense.
So
it chases you across that horizontal bridge. It's a really neat framing device as it kind of chases them down there, but it's about to catch up and leaps to the other side and confronts us head on. So you can't outrun it on the bridge. You have to fight it on the bridge, unless you're Chris and you killed it.
Yes.
Back in the central square, the dog is still there at the fountain screen. If you make contact with it, it skitters off, kind of like those special animals at the end of Super Metroid.
Yeah, and I think you're scored for saving the dog.
Based on your humanity for the dog?
Yes, I think so.
That's
Which is weird. Child Soldier is scored for having humanity, despite our leaders
the dog
sending
did
Child
Soldier.
Yes, the dog did nothing wrong, but
so I didn't fight the XATM-092 at the Nautilus screen, but there's a small transition to a CG cutscene where its leg smashes the only nice car in this city.
Oh, cool.
Then as we pass the bar, Squad C runs out and mentions the evacuation order. I love the idea that Squad C has been in the bar drinking the entire time.
Yeah, they got some discount fish and chips up in there.
So you beat this thing completely twice, right?
Yeah.
Did Squad C still run out when you were making that mad
Yeah,
dash?
they're still in there. You can still go in the bar. And I think you lose a ton of points if you win the bar.
I didn't go in there.
Yeah,
I would have checked it out.
I didn't do it either. And
so this upcoming CG cutscene, did you get this?
No. I just waltzed the fuck out.
And you just walked back in your SeeD vessel?
And now I'm kind of disappointed that...
Oh, man, this is a really good cutscene. Let me tell you about it, Chris.
Yes, please do.
As our squad passes Spice, Squall has fallen behind. Final Fantasy VIII seamlessly cuts to another CG cutscene of the XATM-092 slamming to the side of a building in pursuit of Squall. It stomps down the street, shaking the entire screen. It busts through the brick arch that stood on the other side of Dole's beach access. Squall does a rolling Superman dive off of the flood wall and barrel rolls into the sand.
Cool.
The XATM-092 leaps into the sand and seems to get stuck. Squall hauls his ass away. It cuts to a shot of Selphie turning around to check on Squall, while the chicken wuss Zell makes it inside the SeeD boat without looking at anyone.
Wow.
It cuts to the XATM-092 springing back to life as it rises with sand spilling out of its robot grill mouth. It rapidly catches up to Squall as it marches through the sand. It cuts to a robot point of view like Battletoads, tracking Squall on the back in its black and white vision. Zell's at the entrance of the boat, waving his arm to Squall, saying like, "Come here, man." Squall fucking leaps for it, hands outstretched. We don't know if he's going to make it. The robot has right behind him as he slow-mo leaps to the ledge. The red face of the XATM-092 immediately cuts to a red face of Kistis, obscured by the scope of the giant fucking machine gun on top of the boat. Kistis, grabbing the machine gun with two hands, pumps its guts full of lead. The XATM-092 audibly hisses and snarls as Kistis empties a full clip into this thing. I guess it would be a ream, not a clip of a machine gun. Whatever.
Yes.
It screams and falls as the music swells and cuts to Squall slamming the rear hatch closed. The XATM-092 explodes as the SeeD ship launches into the hazy dusk horizon. It's cool that you can not get that.
It is cool, but also that's a very expensive sounding cutscene.
Yeah.
So that
It was in the demo as well.
It's pretty tough to beat this thing. So
I'm glad they let you.
I don't think that they would expect you to beat this on your first playthrough. So probably everybody's going to see
everything
this.
in the game tells you to run. It's set up like you should run.
Yes, absolutely. So we're back on the dock.
Yeah, there's a world map screen of the ship moving across the ocean. I'm glad that it takes the time to do those Indiana Jones segues.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I wonder how long we're supposed to think this journey takes. Like, is it an afternoon? Is it overnight? What are we doing?
Feels like it's a couple hours. Nothing too huge.
Yeah.
As we return, Cypher is on the dock bragging to his friends about how being a leader isn't easy.
Yeah, there's waves and bird noises. His friends are obviously Fujin and Rajan. Yeah, Cypher vibrates and they all run off toward the car, like as we start to emerge from the vessel.
Cypher and his cronies take the car for themselves, and we have to walk back. When Cypher drives off, Zell says, "There goes Mr. Puniverse."
What?
There goes Mr. Ego.
Okay, I was going to say, did he really say Puniverse?
No, I just did that to fuck with you. Thanks, Richard.
Kistis says good job, then asks Squall where Cypher went. Squall narks on him and points. Kistis does the I don't know gesture, and then tells me to just get back to Garden by sundown. You're free till then. Okay, dismissed.
Yeah, thanks. See you later.
Squall says what I would say, which is might as well walk it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of walking as opposed to paying for transportation. If you go back and talk to Kistis again, she suggests buying some souvenirs or having a review meeting. All very normal things to do after invading a sovereign nation.
That's true. Can you have a review meeting?
You can go inside Zell's house and talk to his mom. That sounds like a review meeting to me.
So now we are afforded the opportunity to explore this town, Balamb.
Yes.
You can actually come here earlier in the game, right?
Yeah, you can walk in here as soon as you get free reign to go to the fire cave, I think.
Yes.
Chris, new music. Breezy plays.
Perfect song title and perfect song for this place, I think. They did a great job.
Laid back, slow, very relaxing.
Yeah, this is like a picturesque coastal town complete with matching sound effects. Hey, Eric, let's describe this town as if we are entering it for the first time.
Let's
do it that way.
And not getting off our SeeD ship.
Yeah.
There's a blue stone bridge under the entrance that has some kind of coat of arms or shield direct in the center of it. It has a red, white, red pattern with a guy holding a sword with each hand. Did you notice this?
No.
Later we'll see it on a flag at the hotel. I think it's like Balam's crest or something like that.
Okay, so is Balamb...
Ever since Xenogears, with all the crests in that game, I've been paying attention to see if there's crests in games.
So, do we understand the sovereignty here?
As I understand it, Balamb enjoys his independence as in... If you look at the world map, we're on an island in the middle of nowhere, basically. And then they're not too happy with Garden being built next to it. And I don't really know the specifics behind that, but they enjoy their independence, let's say that.
Okay.
The first screen is the aforementioned gas station. There's a blue car parked under a gray lavender garage. A hanging marquee says gas station and is next to a yellow Future gas pump. The clerk window next to a billboard that also says gas and two people are talking out front. Did you speak to these people?
Final Fantasy VIII has cars. Yes, I did. I spoke to the dude first.
Uh-huh.
He tells us that he and his girl are definitely going to be at the Garden Festival with their band for the festival. The Garden Festival.
Garden Festival. At the Garden Festival. The girl thinks our uniform looks cool.
Yeah, thanks.
She has the idea to wear something like that to their performance. Let's dress up like students. What a terrible idea.
Yeah, military students for that matter.
The clerk is the car rental receptionist. They tell us we can rent a car and that it will be, quote, fun and safe. Chris, how much is it to rent a car?
300G, I think.
300 3,500 gil.
Oh, that's
for
a lot.
sky blue van or a classic car to just drive around this little island.
Yeah, now we don't have a salary yet, but that'll be like half our salary.
That's too much of it.
Yeah.
Chris, according to the Final Fantasy Ultimania book that you possess, there is a prominent mechanic here because of how much all the salt rusts all the car parts around here.
Oh, cool.
There's a gas station right at the front of the store.
World building.
That's all I've got for the screen. You got anything else?
I don't. Where next?
Main Street, Balamb.
Balamb.
It opens with a foreground out of focus showcasing a balcony-like flower bed in the bottom 20% of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides of the street are lined with stone-structured houses, all with doors positioned much lower than the street. It's almost like there are rows of caves you walk in.
Yeah.
As you walk forward, the background becomes out of focus and the foreground becomes sharp. Up here, there's a guy in a leather coat and a green striped shirt sitting in front of a building called Shop. So, Chris, this focus transition was awesome.
It's kind of awkward looking now.
Yeah, it looked bad then, but the game still didn't bring shit in and out of focus like this with these long depth of field shots.
Yeah.
It tried, all right?
Weird.
Did you speak to this guy sitting by the shop?
Yes, he's the guy who knows Zell, right?
Yeah. Yes, how he's doing.
Yeah, and then he reminds us to go visit Zell's mom.
Zell replies, "Hey, how's it going? You know me, I'm always good," which is how you reply to anyone who you're not really want to have a conversation. Yeah, you know me, I'm great, man.
Yeah. There's also a thunder draw point here.
Yes.
So, thank you. I assume that you're already fully stocked with thunders, though, right? At this point
of course, yeah, I have everything. Of course. So I went back to the beginning of that row and entered the first residence. This is Old Man's residence.
Okay.
It's one big circular living room. The center is a Mad Men Don Draper and Megan Calvé socialization pit.
That works too. Zooby zooby zoo.
What do you call these things? You know what I'm talking about? It's like it's a living room with like a 3-foot drop where people sit on couches and like talk about fucking...
I wanted to search for the name of this thing, and I didn't even know what to type into Google. Like I could
Socialization pit.
I could not figure it out.
Initializing fakenet.
They were formerly called sunken living rooms, but colloquially known as conversation pits.
Wow. What scene did you have in here?
The north end has a modest entertainment center with a CRT, 2 fish mounted to the wall, and 2 small pictures. There's a nook with bread in it on the right corner, possibly an open oven. In the center is that brewing pot chimney. There's a tube pipe to get the smoke gas out of the roof.
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't know. There's also a boat steering wheel hanging on the wall there somewhere.
Knickknacks. We're at Applebee's.
It looked like
Applebee's punk.
It looked like those 2 pictures that we saw on the wall were whales. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe these are obviously fishermen or fisher enthusiasts.
So the scene I got, because there's multiple, there's a girl on her stomach reading a book. Mm-hmm. She says she was just talking about how big the world is.
Yeah.
The boy kneeling next to her was just reading the World Atlas and thinking about how small we are in relation to everything.
Yeah.
Normal kid shit.
Yeah, normal kid. Well, he'll go on if you keep talking to him. He tells us about a powerful nation of Galbadia, a mysterious country called Eshtar, and the destroyed Centra.
Isn't Centra from Final Fantasy VII?
I guess. Don't know. Can't...
that was Cetra, I guess.
Cetra, yeah. I went back in here later and got a different scene, and the dad, I guess, or the
old man's residence.
The older man is telling the girl that a long time ago there was a strong god named Hyne, Hyne, which I think we read about on our computer desk earlier. Yeah. It was very strong, but after fighting a lot of monsters, he became very tired. So he made people to do all the work, and then the god went to sleep.
In my image.
Fucking asshole. The god was very surprised when he woke because there were so many people. Hyne decided to reduce the number of the children. Humans battled against Hyne and cornered him. Out of desperation, he gave half of his body to the humans and ran off with the other half. Turns out it was a trick. He ran off with the half stronger with magic. The half
so
with stronger
51%.
magic. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's weird. The girl asks if anyone ever found it, and the man says that it may be watching you right now, which is a fucked up thing to say.
I mean, God's all around us, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's true. God's all around us.
Watching us from a distance.
He took all the good magic.
God would do that. God would take all the good magic,
yes,
absolutely.
Now we have to endure labor.
Next, I went to Zell's house.
Yeah.
We walk in, and he says, "Ma, I'm home." Ma dinched. Delighted to see us. She asks Zell if we're his friends. Zell says this is his house, but not to make ourselves comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't answer the question either.
No, he doesn't. Very deliberately.
Zell would probably say yes, because he's the kind of guy who wants to be your pal right at the get-go. But
everybody knows Zell.
Yeah, of course.
The living room has a large stone floor with built-in circle stones with some aqua and navy design on top of a white marble kind of design.
Yeah, is there a PC in here or something?
There's something, yeah, there's beige and orange stone to make up the rest of the floor. The south wall has a giant table with 2 pictures, 2 kinds of future TVs with composite cables, and a flower pot. An umbrella bucket and our coat rack are next to the door.
I'm glad you know the umbrella bucket.
Yeah,
I call it the bucket of umbrellas, but I like umbrella bucket better.
There's a picture of green shit on the wall, and the entrance door has gold trim all around it. Ma Dinch appears to be back in the kitchen.
Yeah. Zell won't let us go in his room, by the way.
No, if you try to go upstairs, Zell says, "That's my room up there. It's sacred, so just keep out," which is exactly what I say when my pornography is out and my friends come over.
Yes. Or my air guys, one or the other. In the dining room, God bless the ring, by the way. In the dining room, there's a small desk, a breakfast bar, a circular table in the middle of the room. Anything else? Lots of shit lying around, some oars.
Was the big bad rascal here for you?
Not here, but later. We can go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play Ma Dinch in cards?
I didn't now, but I did later, and I was able to win the Zell card, which I think is the main reason of playing her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says if you speak to her, she says, "Take care of Zell for me." And I said, "Ma'am, I'm going to need to take care of that card for your son at the moment."
Did you also find an issue of Timber Maniac's Knot in here?
No.
There's a place where you can procure a magazine kind of randomly in the back room. And it'll say, "I found an issue of Timber Maniacs," and then it'll say ... not.
Hilarious not joke.
Yeah. Well, what's the point of that? Does that mean we can't acquire?
It's a joke, Chris. It's not.
That's it.
It's not it. Timber Maniac. I mean, this would be funnier had we acquired Timber Maniacs before this.
Yeah.
To like kind of seat the joke a little bit, but not going to happen.
I'm confused, Richard. Sorry.
Chris, I played her in cards.
Yeah.
She asked if I improved my game. This is the first time we've ever played.
Yes.
I took her T-Rexar, I took her Imp, I took her Torma. She says nothing as I walk out of here with her son's card. The only one like it in the world.
Yeah. It's harsh, man. It's a harsh world out there.
I walked out, and then I went back to the screen, and someone named Mother of Big Bad Rascal was coming out of the door.
Yes. Occasionally, Mother of Big Bad Rascal will be in the house, too.
Okay. I like that there's roving NPCs based on like an RNG, whether or not they're there. Next, I went to the shop.
Yes, this is where you can upgrade your... Or no, this is like the gift shop, right?
No, it's the shop where that guy was sitting down.
Okay.
The owner will remodel our weapons for us in Final Fantasy VIII's drab gray menu screen. Like there's no actual shop screen.
Yeah.
The path divides between straight and east. Straight's the Balamb Hotel, east is the train station. Which way'd you go?
Let's go to the station.
So if you walk up to here, the Queen of Cards is still here, but I refuse to engage her anymore. Did you talk to her and get that all rule?
I could never do this. I played around with the Queen of Cards a little bit later, trying to get the all rule because I was told to do that by the internet and you, I think.
This podcast?
Yes, this podcast. I couldn't get it. The best I could do was get diff, which allows you to take the difference of cards that you win a match by, which is if you win heavily, once you start getting the better cards, you can win and get 3 or 4 cards every time.
6-4, 7-3, shit like that.
Yeah. So there were a couple times where I effectively got all, but I couldn't get it. I kept going back and forth, and it never came. So
another guy at another shop identified as gift shop employee sells basic necessities like potions, eye drops, holy water, shotgun ammo.
Yeah, and at this point in time, we don't have nearly enough money to be like just stocking up on potions at this point in time.
These are normal items for a Final Fantasy protagonist, but insane objects for anyone else in this video game.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, everybody's got to deal with monsters somehow, right?
What happens if you get petrified? Throw some soft on that. It's a normal thing. Shut up.
Cool.
The path terminates at Balamb Station, which has lavender stone colors that permeate the entire town. The conductor says the trains are running on schedule, but there aren't too many tourists coming in from Galbadia.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can go in the train station. It's a regular train platform. There's some kind of giant blue future device here. I assume this thing plugs into the train and charges it up for all of its daily adventures.
Yeah, I thought it was like, isn't there some kind of like terminal in here where you like buy your tickets or something?
Maybe it's like a kiosk.
Like
machines are replacing humans.
Yeah, like a subway kiosk kind of thing. There's no one in here except for the attendant who's bored out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah, and you can't reach him because he's in a back corner, right?
No, I talked to him.
Is there a separate attendant?
I talked to some attendant who told me he was bored out of his goddamn mind. Editorialized. Goddamn. I also found an issue of Timber Maniacs here. And
you read it when you try to leave. Chris, there's also a clock in here.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier I said this game has no clocks. I lied.
Oh, okay.
There's a clock.
So that means time exists. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else here in Balamb Station?
Nope.
Okay. Now let's go to the hotel.
Yeah, the road that leads to Balamb Hotel, it's 2 or 3 story electric blue building with a giant boat steering wheel, which I am sure isn't called that. What's a boat steering wheel called?
Initializing fakenet.
It's called a wheel, you idiots.
I called it a boat steering wheel as well, so I'm not sure.
It's the centerpiece of the marquee. Both doors are ornate golden monstrosities. The flag blowing in the wind showcases the same red, white, red guy with the middle logo as the crest of the entrance.
Yeah.
Was there a guy out front for you?
Yeah, it was the hotel owner.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel owner tells us the whole town is filled with a wonderful aroma of the sea. This is why his car rusts. The sign's not looking too good either.
The sign looks fine.
To me, it does, yes. This whole place looks tremendous.
Yeah, it looks like a perfect seaside cottage.
Yes.
Like this is your ideal vacation spot for a beach town.
Inside?
Yep.
Inside the hotel, there's an old man that suspects that this would be a nice town to retire in. He then wonders if his wife would cut back on her yappity yap if she lives here, if she lived here. So
I hate my wife.
Great. Yeah, I hate my wife trope is alive and well in this game. That's probably not a very good trope to normalize, but here we are. The receptionist there tells us that these guests are from Galbadia. She's caught up in telling a story about hick towns and fads. What I found interesting about this interaction here is that we just got done fighting Galbadia like 5 minutes ago, and there's just Galbadian tourists coming and going. Like no one gives a fuck about the.
We are in the military.
Yes, exactly. It's weird.
What alarmed me about this lobby is the bay windows are off center, so it looks like we've walked into a fun house. I don't understand what's happening.
It is weird.
If you speak to the receptionist, she tries to charge you 100G for what the R3 button will do for free.
Yes, thanks. Did you go and take a rest in the hotel, though? I did, just to see what it would do.
I didn't rest, but I did go up there.
Yeah.
This place looks like it's made out of coral from Marbule.
Yeah.
The 3 beds have blue dressing and gold headboards. The walls have elaborately sculpted art emblazoned on their surface. 2 concrete columns support each end. The artist went fucking nuts here, both in the universe and at Squaresoft.
Yeah, that's true. If you do rest, it's funny because when the scene fades in, like there's kind of, I don't know if it's random, but there is pre-programmed animations for the characters to be waking up. Like they'll be chilling in the room or moving around, moving about the room. Yeah,
that's nice.
It does this in a couple of different instances in this game.
Chris, what normal hotel artifact is not in this hotel?
A Bible?
A toilet.
A toilet, yeah.
Unless you count the balcony, which we can't.
Yeah, we can't do that until, the absence of a toilet implies no toilets.
So did you walk down the stairs? Did you notice anything weird?
No.
The receptionist, it looks like she's taping down an object, and she'll stop and get back into her customer service pose when you finish barreling down the stairs.
Oh, interesting.
Like she's clearly working on something, but then stops to be a representative of this fine hotel.
Yeah. I really do love what Balamb as a whole shows us about the mercenary economy. It's hard to say if they're like proud that there's a garden here, or they're like, these fucking weirdos.
I think they're either indifferent or resentful. Plus, if there's 3 17-year-olds renting your room, they're going to fucking trash it.
Yeah, also true. But as we'll see a little bit later, like it feels like SeeD or Garden itself owns a big, or commands a big chunk of the economy.
Put some money in the economy to refine the docks to be adaptable to SeeD vessels.
The way the geopolitics and the economics intersect here is not clear, but it's interesting to try to unpeel that.
When you leave the hotel doors, it's revealed they're actually made of polygons and they close behind you.
Cool.
And then I went down to the launching point.
Is it the docks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The word harbor is inscripted on the ground in a Gothic font. The harbor is otherwise normal, other than the SeeD ship still being here. In the very background is a building that looks like someone put a rotunda on a plantation house.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, does Van live here?
Yes, along with his dad, Go.
I cannot get back on the SeeD ship. Chris, off to the right are a bunch of those huge spool things you always see on docks.
Yeah.
In Goldove, they were used as bar tables, I think. I think they're to wrap the anchor rope around, but I refuse to look any of this up.
Yeah, don't do that. Is the card playing guy there at this point in time, or is that later?
Not for me.
Okay, well, a little later, there's a guy that plays cards there, but his rules are different than the regions.
Fuck that.
Like they're locked in to something different. Nothing major, but you can't see his cards.
Chris, what's the point of Balamb?
Well, I mean,
is this Dazzle? Is this like disconnected from politics of the rest of the entire world?
Do you mean the point in the larger plot?
Yeah, is this just a town? Is this our practice town to go to?
I think I think that's part of it, and I think part of it is to communicate something about where, a contrast of what we just did to where we are, and how no one seems to give a shit.
Perfect. Like delays and ruins despite being fully developed.
No one's talking about the fact that the military just attacked the neighboring country town.
Later we'll learn that
they've got CRTs. They must have some sort of communication.
Yeah, they have.
But we have no radio communication.
It's called HD cable.
Okay.
Right, but there is no radio communication. So I guess, which that seems, whatever. Broadcast technology versus cable technology. So they should know about this if there's a siege going on.
Yeah. Also, we used their dock to park our army boats.
Yeah.
They saw us fucking roll up in here in our dumbass looking cars.
Some SeeDs had injuries that they were bleeding out of when they were walking back up the thing, right?
Yeah, several 15-year-olds walked by with missing limbs. Fuck.
And the rest were drunk from that bar.
They could generate some additional business here. They could go tourism and as a hospital. They overcharge for procedures to reattach limbs to child soldiers that are on their way back from various assaults.
Convert Zell's mom's house into a hospital.
Well, they did that during World War I. They just took over buildings and just made them hospitals. So that's it. Then we can go back to Balamb Garden via the blue fields, but we'll do that next time, right?
On the next episode of Retrograde Amnesia.
Yes, let's consult the RealNet.
Initializing RealNet.
Hello, RealNet. There's a lot. Okay, gonna pick some good ones. And if I miss a good one, I'm sorry. I do my best. If I pay too much attention to the RealNet, then I don't pay attention to Eric, then I end up repeating exactly what he just said, which happened earlier. Oh, this is a good one. Shy Guy 32 says, I think my favorite censorship in localization was turning Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Neptune into close cousins.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
as opposed to a romantic thing?
Yes, I remember that. Cosmos also gives a good one. Just a funny localization thing. This is also anime, but jelly donuts in the Pokemon anime.
What were those supposed to be?
Localized the rice balls as jelly donuts. Like Brock loved jelly donuts.
The one that I was thinking, like they did censor crucifixes from Link to the Past. Like the goatee thing was obviously a joke, but there was actual church references there before.
I saw crucifixes in something recently that was old, and
Enigma?
Well, yeah, no, it was something that came to the U.S., but I don't remember what it was. Oh well. Shy Guy 32 picked up on my reference to Hideo Kojima earlier when I said Cypher's body is made of movies.
Nothing. Gone.
Huh?
Gone.
You don't remember me saying that, or you don't know the reference?
I don't know the reference.
You don't know the reference?
What Metal Gear is that from?
It's not. It's
what Ender of the Zone is
Twitter
that from?
bio.
Which Snatcher? Oh, really?
His Twitter bio says made of 50% movies or 100% movies. It's weird.
Sure.
Squall 5042. I'm just going to call Squall 5042 Squall going forward. Squall says, wow, this is so much different than season 1. I guess Squall's still on season 1. SSD Ninja says, yeah, the microphones are pointing the right way this time. Yes, thanks.
Listen, they were pointed the right way after episode 5, right? Sort of.
No, I think by 3 we were good.
Okay.
I mean, there was still a little bit of things to work out, but yeah. Shy Guy 32 says, in reference to Biggs and Wedge, according to the Final Fantasy wiki, Biggs in Japanese is Bigusu, and Wedge is Weiji. They're actual Star
Big
Wars.
Zeus and Ouija board. Got it. Thanks.
Yes.
Biggs Darklighter is a hell of a fucking name.
It was Bikusu in Final Fantasy VI. It was written differently, and that's why it became Vix in the original localization. Shy Guy 32 says sirens are Greek mythology. Did we get that right? I think we got that right.
Well, I briefly... the sirens in Greek mythology...
Just shut up now. I got it for you earlier.
I don't know if they're the same ones that tempted pirates. Like, I think that the legend may have evolved. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But I would point to Greek mythology as their origin point. Which is, we all know, Kratos ripped their head off canonically. That's what happened in Greek mythology.
Okay, so this is interesting from Shy Guy 32. If you go into the bar on the escape from the robot spider thing, and it actually misses you, it passes.
Really?
So when you go back, you see its carcass on the beach because Kiss has
already wasted it?
Yes.
Man.
Which is pretty cool. 3 different outcomes.
Points are subtracted for cowardice.
Yes. Cliff Racer says ducking into the bar while the robot runs past is such a spaghetti Western move. Which is, yeah, that's true. God damn it. Quistacular says, I still think of the FF8 cast as older than I am, even though I'm twice their age now. Maybe because of how old I was when I first played the game. Which that's something that I think that we've come to grips with as we've started talking about these old games, where we are talking about children, and I didn't think of them as children originally. I thought
they were older than me when I first played this.
They were awesome superhero kind of.
I was 16 when I played this, and they were all 17 or 18.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, RealNet. We will see you next time. Today's episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on May 16th, 2021. Thanks, Mark, for the music.
You're welcome, Chris.
You can find us on Twitter at RetroAmnesiaPod. If you like us, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/RetroAM. Get early access, bonus episodes, miniseries, voting rights, stereo mix, and access to the RealNet. Email us at our new email address, podcast@retrogradeamnesia.com.
Really?
Or the old one. Yeah.
Cool.
It goes to all the same box now. I got it. It's all good. I got it. Until next time, Eric.
Yes, we will kill Mark.
You will see the tears of time. And now you may go back to sleep. can do it too if you want to. You just go to retroam.com. No. I hit victory music. I'm all off on this shit tonight.
Initializing payload.
Yeah, she looks like she's got the never mind. Fucking I was gonna make it the bouncer reference, but there's too many of those. I'm gonna stop.
There's never enough, actually. Go ahead and make the reference. Dominique?
No, I'm trying to think of his name.
You know that Panther?
No.
Volt?
No, the fucking the
Sion?
What?
Mikado Group? Duragon?
Duragon Mikado's overalls turn into a skirt.
Oh.
The Bouncer.
Yes, he reports that there has been a monster-shaped shadow spotted above the tower. Biggs hushes him and tells him that he's busy, and then he begins complaining about the repairs, and then Wedge says that he'll check around. Did I repeat something that you just said?
All of it, but that's okay. We can do either take.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Biggs tells him that there's no pay this munch.
Munch? No pay this munch, dude.
Big.
You want to talk about that? You have to actually physically go to your item inventory and read these magazines to make sure shops have the upgrade materials ready to upgrade. Because, picture Squall reading a magazine, him telling the shop owner how to build, how to build new swords, and then you can summon material, not summon. Fuck, that sentence is bad. Let me try it all over.
Yeah, say that bad sentence again. The hotel owner tells us the whole town filled with the wonderful armor of the sea.
I'm going to go with Aroma on that.
Yes, autocorrect mistake. I don't think I have autocorrect on, just fucked up. I've done my vocal warm-up exercises, which I don't do, but I'm doing them now.
I had a video game encounter in public.
A video game encounter? Does that mean you were playing video games in public?
No, I was buying beer in public.
And?
Are you familiar with the store? It's next to Little Pizza. It used to be a gas station.
Oh, yeah, I go there sometimes.
Mm-hmm. The guy behind the counter, I was walking up with my six-pack, and I hear, "Oh, have you ever heard of Dota 2?" And I'm like, he's not talking to me. He's talking to a girl, a woman who's holding a big paper bag full of shit, trying to exit the door. And he said, "Have you heard of Dota 2?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I play Overwatch. It's kind of like that." And he starts telling her about how he went to Full Sail University for esports as she's trying to leave. And he's desperately trying to impress the young lady about esports as she's being held. She's being very polite about all of this.
Wow.
I'm just standing there
Wow. Name the Japanese manner of the absence of a toilet implies no toilets.